But media has transformed in the internet age to become where we are now. Where we are is where the people are. To create communication and information is what will create the resolve and the determination of our people to liberate themselves so that one day we can say we are free at last, and thank God Almighty, we are free at last. With those very many words, I want to encourage everyone that every day we wake up, we must wake up with one conviction that Ruto is no bigger than Moi and others who have gone before him. Ruto must go. And if you make the decision, the numbers of the Jay-Z, the numbers of Kenyans are in their millions. We will have more than 17 to 20 million votes by the time we reach 2027. Ruto will go and Ruto must go.
Thank you so much, Tony. Over to you, Dr. Mutunga.
Thank you. Actually, I didn't drop off. When I was looking at the question that I was asked, I was still listening, and the answers came from Miguna. There was somebody called Degwa who also weighed in, and Neto. So I don't want to go there except to say we're talking a political movement here. So if there are, and I know there are some Gen Zs that, and I've been told by some people that there are some people who have gone to court actually under Article 1, basically seeking to withdraw the delegated authority, of some institutions, and that they want to exercise their sovereign power, directly. Okay, it could be a strategy, but I mean, if certain GCs want to go the court route, and others don't want, I think these strategies have to be, to be discussed, because I think if they want to go to court, somebody is going to say that the judiciary can't deliver, the the right judgment. There could be a debate around that. Let's flag that issue, as an issue of strategy. But fundamentally, I agree that what is happening is actually a political movement that even if it's going to use the legal path at any point, it will be doing that, to aid the fundamental, political strategy. And that's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much, and we keep talking. Thanks.
Thanks so much for coming and for sharing with us your knowledge. Over to you, Dr. Miguna.
Maj, thank you very much. I thank all the hosts and all the speakers, all the people who have listened in quietly and those who have spoken. And I thank the Gen Zs and the millennials for leading the struggle. I want to say three things. Number one, this struggle does not belong to one generation. I have been on this already, and I think we should make this clear every time. This is the struggle of our ancestors as much as it is our struggle and the struggle of the Gen Zs and also the millennials. Because what our ancestors and our grandparents fought for during colonialism, we have not obtained. We don't have our land back. Our sovereignty belongs to us and does not have to be vested on us by anyone, but it's been subverted successively by successive regimes. For we need to get that. We don't have all the freedoms that we assert we have in the Bill of Rights, including the freedom of association, including the freedom to protest. That is why they are shooting at us. including freedom of the speech. That's why the president keeps, Ruto keeps attacking us, calling us violent when we are just speaking. Let no one tell us that because we are not Gen Zs, this is not our struggle. That's divide and rule. Don't let anybody tell you that CJ Mutunga is not a Gen Z, therefore he should not be speaking. That I, Miguna, am not a Gen Z, therefore I should not be speaking. That's parochialism. That's sectarianism. That's a divide and rule tactic. We must reject it because our struggles are based on the struggles of the people who are long gone. Each generation stands on the shoulders of the previous one. Without that, there is no need for a struggle and we can never succeed. So we should get that in our heads and reject these people who are bringing divisive messages and ideas into our heads. We are together in this struggle. We are not united. We are not divided. The fourth point is this, and I have seen it. As I have said before, they have made messages and they are spreading messages of confusion. Let us not allow ourselves to be confused. We could be demonstrating and protesting every single day. There is not one day that is reserved for protests. As I have seen, that they were saying that the previous protests of last week failed, but there were people in Mulolongo and other places that were protesting and were very successful. The protests are going on all over the country. It's not just in Nairobi. Let's make it organic. Let's continue to do so. Let's make it huge. And it does not matter if only a handful show up. It does not matter as long as we continue on it until we achieve our goals. I wanted to say that we cannot call the martyrs, the people who have been murdered by the state goons, as having committed aided suicide. That kind of language is dangerous. These people did not go to the street to die. Rex did not want to die. Denzel did not want to die. Onsongo did not want to die. All these people did not want to die. They went there. Yes, they were fearless, but they went there to protest in exercise of their constitutional rights. But they did not go there to invite the police to shoot them. When they die, we should call them heroes. We should not say that they committed suicide or they wanted themselves to be killed. No. They were killed by cold-blooded murderers. Let us call the killers murderers. Let us not blame the victims. Let's blame the perpetrators. The last point I want to make is basically in response to my friend CJ. CJ, I actually believe that going to court is not a good strategy because it attempts to validate something that doesn't need to be validated. Our rights under Article 1 do not need validation by the courts. This is something that I was being told when Uhuru Kenyatta forced me into exile. And people are telling me, oh, the courts gave you. The courts did not give me any rights. The courts simply affirmed the rights. So if somebody is going to court for the affirmation, no problem. But we should not make anybody think that if the court does not affirm it, therefore the right does not exist. Because the danger is, if you go to court saying we have the right under Article 1 to exercise our sovereignty directly, what if the court says no? And then you give the regime the weapon now to attack you, saying the court has already ruled that you cannot do what you are doing. So therefore you fold and you call off the protest. I think that is not a strategy. That is actually naive. That is trying to buy into something that you have no control over. We already have the constitution which we gave ourselves. That's enough. Let's not look for validation from the courts because the courts can be used against us. We should only go to court for things that we are almost certain that even if the court rules against us, it cannot be used by the regime. That would be good